don't think Brad's staying married to Cassie after the Diddy trial. Just saying. Coming to paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this all-new Spinsterella story. Pre-order your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. I don't think Cassie is going to be married to her husband, Alex Fine, for much longer. Now, Alex Fine basically, I believe, has found out some things about his wife during the sex trafficking trial of Sean P. Diddy Combs that may lead to the end of their marriage, because all of these salacious details that he's found out about his wife are not things that I believe can help him be able to have a successful marriage with this woman. Now, during the trial of Sean P. Diddy Combs as related to the alleged sex trafficking charges that have been presented against him, Cassie has taken to the stand and testified to participating in all sorts of very promiscuous and sexually deviant behavior during the freak-offs she had with her boyfriend Sean P. Diddy Combs. And as Alex Fine has had to listen to this testimony regarding his wife, it's basically, I believe, changing his perception of his wife and changing his perception of his wife as he has to listen to the disturbing behaviors that she alleges that she participated in with Sean P. Diddy Combs, such as golden showers, such as taking the ejaculate of a man that after he finished on her and putting it on Sean P. Diddy Combs, and other alleged salacious behaviors that Cassie says that she participated in with male prostitutes as they were participating in these freak-offs. These statements as related to the sexually promiscuous and deviant behavior are so disturbing that Alex Fine was forced to storm out of the courtroom after hearing about all of the sexual behaviors that Cassie participated in. And I'd have to believe that after hearing all of these disturbing things that your wife participated in with a man who she was involved with before you, that's got to really hurt to hear. Moreover, it really hurts to hear these things about a woman you got involved with, got married to, and had children with, to hear about her salacious, sexually promiscuous past. And when it comes down to hearing about these kind of things, it can really impact a man to the point where he really looks at this woman and doesn't see the woman he once considered to be his wife. Now, what a lot of people don't know about men is that when it comes to men, especially white men, everything is about image, and with everything about being about image, a man is always focused on his face. And in the case of Alex Fine, hearing that the woman that he married was out here participating in sexual promiscuity and sexual deviancy with music mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs, that is something that made him lose face in the social circles of other white men who will now not see him as a man who was the head of a family, but basically see him as a cuckold who basically is involved with a woman who basically went out here and was participating in sexual promiscuity. And as she was participating in sexual promiscuity, led to him getting involved with her, with her having this high body count and all of this emotional and mental baggage. And instead of him looking like a guy who got involved with a former entertainer, he basically is looking to all those other men like a simp who basically got involved with a female predator, and one who basically wound up pulling the wool over his eyes. And that's what is looking like for Alex Fine. He's not looking like a man who is one that's respected. No, he's looking like a guy who's made to be a complete joke. A guy who's a complete joke as related to his whole face, because he's the one who got involved with a entertainer who was, again, involved with extreme sexual promiscuity and sexual deviancy. And That's not a good look for a white man. No, not a good look for a white man. Even if that white man is looking to again try to grab a bag, this is not a good look for him. And when it comes to Alex Fine, again, this dude ain't really looking good as a man, especially in white social circles. In white social circles, he's looking like a clown, who got involved with a lemon of a woman, who basically was one that most guys would have passed on. He was the guy looking like the guy in social circles who got involved with the woman who basically all the guys got with in the neighborhood. And he was the guy who was basically waiting in line to get involved with this woman who has been around the block multiple times, and he's the guy who puts the ring on her finger. And that's not a good look for a man. No, it's not a good look for a man, because it says, one, this man was extremely naive as related to being in social relationships with women. Two, he can't really read women. And three, he basically is a guy who got more caught up in his feelings and it didn't really see the game. That's what really is looking like Alex Fine. He's looking like the guy who got played for a sucker, and that's what's being broadcast to the world in this trial as related to Cassie and Sean P. Diddy Combs. And what's really sad about the details of this story is that Cassie basically was seeing Alex Fine not as a man, but the clean-up dude. And that's basically what Alex Fine is looking like, the clean-up dude, based on the testimony that Cassie was presenting. Because as Cassie was presenting her case, she was saying that she was involved with Alex Fine and still going out here and visiting to see Sean P. Diddy Combs. That's what led to her having an encounter where she was violated by Diddy, as she alleges. And that really makes him look bad because, again, she's still seeing this dude. And if a woman is still seeing a dude, that's a red flag right there. That means she ain't into you and basically is not into you and doesn't see you as a man, but sees you as a tool. And that's what Alex Fine is looking like. He's looking like a tool who basically went from being the one guy who picked her up after Sean P. Diddy Combs basically wound up their relationship ending, to winding up again being the clean-up man. And that's what's the situation with Alex Fine. He's the clean-up man, and the clean-up man basically is the dude. After the women have been ran through by all the guys, they come out here and they look for this dude to go out here and clean up all the issues that they're having, clean up all the emotional baggage, and clean up all the problems that they had from the previous relationship. And this guy basically, he's thinking, oh, I'm getting involved with this woman after she got involved with a very popular guy, not understanding that this woman doesn't have you in a role where she sees you as a head or a leader she respects. And that was shown by her looking to go see this Diddy after breaking up with him. No, she basically saw Alex Fine as the garbage man to clean up her mess, clean up the mess as related to her professional and personal reputation with Sean P. Diddy Combs. And as she was looking to bury the skeleton bones as related to all of the stuff she did in the freak-offs, she looked to rehabilitate her image by marrying this white man. She hoped to rehabilitate her image by marrying this white man and having his kids. That's what Cassie wanted to do as related to her image. And what she wanted to do was go out here and present herself as respectable after participating in all of this disrespectful behavior. However, that whole plan wound up getting derailed when all of the salacious allegations came out as related to the federal charges of sex trafficking that came out against Sean P. Diddy Combs. And as those details came out, and Cassie has testified to that, her whole image that she was trying to rebuild by going out here and marrying Alex Fine, the clean-up man, marrying this clean-up man and this Pullman porter, this guy who's going to clean up her whole image. that it all wound up falling apart because now Alex Fine knows all about all of the skeleton bones that are in the Cassie graveyard and knows all about all of the freaky action that was participated in at the freak-offs. And as he is now knowing and learning all about all of that debauchery, sexual promiscuity, and sexual deviancy that Cassie has participated in, where she was basically, again, being filled in the front side and the back side and the mouth with all of these phalluses and other things. Again, basically, this guy is looking at this woman and looking at this woman as related to the behavior she's testifying to participating in, and it's turning his stomach. And as it turns his stomach, all of the white guys he associates with are looking at him. And as they're looking at him and looking at him, they're not seeing a man that they respect anymore. No, they're seeing a guy who really is looking weak optically, because he's not out here with a woman who's reflecting positively on him. No, he's with a woman who basically is reflecting an image of him being emasculated and being completely humiliated, because you were the guy who basically came after all of the guys during the freak-offs. You came after Sean P. Diddy Combs, and that's not a good look for a man. No, it's not an optical good look for a man, especially a white man, because when a white man goes out here, again, everything is about his face, and in order for him to get respect, he has to have face. And if that man winds up losing face in front of other men, what happens is that man is not going to be in a place where he is respected. And if he can't be respected, then people are not going to look at that man as somebody they want to work with in business circles and social circles, because he doesn't know how to have discernment as related to the choices that he makes. And that's the similar situation that Will Smith ran into when he went out here and stormed up on the stage to defend the honor of Jada Pinkett, allegedly as related to the joke that Chris Rock made. What happened with Will Smith is that he wound up losing face in many business and social circles, and that's why people don't look at Will Smith and take him as seriously anymore. And the same thing here is happening to Alex Fine. What's happening here to Alex Fine is that after your wife come out here and is saying, oh, I did all of this freaky stuff with Sean P. Diddy Combs and male prostitutes, and then you're going to be the dude who marries this woman, that's embarrassing for a man. And again, optically, not a good look for a man, because again, it says that this man is not one who is leading. It says that this man doesn't have good critical thinking skills. It says that this man doesn't do a good job of vetting women. And if he doesn't do a good job of having critical thinking skills, vetting women, or being able to read a woman, then we don't know if we can trust this man in a social or a business situation. That's the way most men, especially many white men, operate. And when they look at Alex Fine, again, this is not a good look for him as a man. Basically, again, Cassie, as she looked to, again, go out here and deal with this whole situation with Diddy, wound up doing herself in, because there's no way, I believe, that this man can stay married to this woman. No, there's no way that this guy can stay married to this woman and maintain his face. No, he's lost face as related to this situation. He's been completely humiliated. He's been completely emasculated, because your wife is someone who is out here participating in freak-offs and, again, participating in all sorts of deviant behavior. And then she comes to you and wants to say, I want you to marry me. And again, this basically makes this man into a complete joke, makes him into a joke that the world is laughing at. And in order for him to possibly reclaim his face, the only way out is through a possible divorce. That's why I believe that this dude ain't gonna stay married to Cassie, because Cassie basically, again, wound up embarrassing herself. And what she wants to do now in this situation, what she wants to do now is go out here while she's testifying on the stand, she's pregnant with his third child, and I believe that she's having this third child basically because she wants to try to hold on to this man and hold on to this whole image of trying to present herself as respectable and trying to gain sympathy from a simp. But the whole thing is that after hearing all of these horrible and salacious details that this woman has participated in, there's no way most dudes would stay in that type of marriage because, again, it's just not an optical good look. No, not an optical good look, because when you look at this woman, you can't really see her as a reflection of you. No, you can't really look at that woman as a reflection of you if she's out here, again, was out here before she was with you and then was still talking to this dude. I mean, if she had basically broke off with Diddy, it would have been one thing had she just broke off with this dude. But the whole thing is she still was seeing him as she was seeing Alex Fine. And again, that doesn't make him look like a guy who was in a leadership role. No, he was looking more like, again, that cleanup man, looking like the cleanup man, looking like he's got on a one of those coveralls and some Timberland spice stands and a mop and a bucket in his hand, cleaning up all of the fluids that were spread during the freak-offs. That's what Alex Fine is looking at. And coming behind a black man, that's not a good look for a white man. No, a white man out here coming behind a black man with a mop and a bucket, that's a position of complete humiliation. Again, complete humiliation. You're the guy cleaning up after the freak-offs. You're the guy helping this woman go out here and make herself look respectable. Again, after she's disrespected herself and gotten it by getting involved with this guy, because Cassie got involved with this guy, monkey branching over to try to get a bigger career. And sadly, this guy basically, again, at the end of the day, he's the cleanup man, and that's not a good position for any man. Again, I see it happen all the time here in the Bronx. I saw it growing up in school. Again, these chicks would go out here, get with the dope boys, get with the gangbangers, and then after they go out here and get with that guy, then they go looking for a cleanup man to clean up their reputation after Pookie done went to jail and got life in prison, or he lost his life in these streets. They go looking to go out here and reinvent themselves as this respectable woman and look to reinvent themselves. And then they use this simp to again reinvent themselves and eventually look to go out here and have their life taken care of by the cleanup man. The cleanup man who doesn't know that as he's taking out the garbage, there's a graveyard full of skeleton bones. And as there's a graveyard of these skeleton bones in this graveyard, what's happening is you don't know what's going to come out of that grave until one of these guys from her past shows up. And that's when you find out, oh no, you've got somebody whose life was a hot mess. And instead of you being able to build your household, you're the one dealing with this hot mess. You're the one dealing with this nightmare scenario where your family is getting all these secrets revealed as related to all the stuff this chick did back in the day when she was fine. But the whole thing is now that she's finally ready to settle down, you don't have a woman who's a respectable wife. No, you've got a bust down in disguise who's got more miles on her body than an 89 Yugo or a 66 Firebird. I mean, basically, you thinking you've got something here, but what's happening is that you've gotten a lemon that basically could lead to you winding up in a situation where you're not only the cleanup man who's the simp who picked up this chick, but you could possibly be on the road to being a final simp. And you need to watch my video on the final simp, because the final simp is the guy who has to deal with this woman after she's been sexually promiscuous and deal with all of the issues regarding her, because when women have sex with multiple men, they have the spirit and DNA of those men inside of her, and as that spirits and DNA pull at her soul, it basically tears her apart and leads to her basically looking to take out all of her anger out on you as related to all the past failed relationships. And That's a situation where you will become like the final girl trying to survive in this situation, survive the baby mama drama and all the nightmares that come with that situation. That's why I have to look at Alex Fine. And again, he's in a situation where I don't think he's going to be married for much longer to Cassie. And this whole situation with this marriage is going to end up being one that's going to end up more sad than Toni Braxton's Another Sad Love Song. Now, if you want to check out some of my books on the SJS Direct imprint, you can find them in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos taking celebrities to the barbecue, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA, from the Black Boule, in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.